Quasi here. In today's video, I want to answer an important question that I thought was quite interesting that I was asked, which is what's one piece of advice I would give to my 18-year-old self if I could go back in the past? And so that's something I've been reflecting on, and that's something I want to share with you. So if you're someone who's 18 or you're getting started in your entrepreneurial journey or in your personal development journey even, maybe this could be of use to you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Quasi, Johir. Over the past 4 years, I've generated over 4.5 million in revenue. And my whole goal was to just start up my own freedom business that liberated me from the trap of the 9 to 5, because I was deeply, deeply dissatisfied with my life. And I thought that I was only worth the status quo, which is go out there and get a job and answer to a boss, and then you can retire at 60 and then you can begin to live your life. And I was so frustrated with the thought of that. I was like, is this what my life is going to look like? Back when I was 18 years old, my worldview was so limited, like I didn't know much. And so I just felt trapped. Just a quick backstory, I just told you what it was. When I was a kid, I got bullied a lot, and that shaped my desires, my intentions, all of that. And so that was back in middle school. In high school, I wanted to really fit in with the popular kids. And so I was with some kids who were probably not the best influence on me. And that shaped how I would be in the first few years of college. So when I entered college, I started to see, and attract similar sort of people who were into drugs and partying and all that. And I was like, cool, yeah, this is what you do. This is what the cool kids do. And so I was involved in a lot of partying and a lot of drinking. And then I realized this isn't good for my body or me. What's the point of this? And I met two people who were very pivotal in my life at that time. One was my buddy Arlen. I talk about him a lot. I've even made videos with him, Arlen Moore. He has his own YouTube channel. Go check him out. And the other one is my buddy Raphael Centrone. Both of them were of a similar age to me, and are a similar age to me. But at that time, Raphael had his own e-commerce store and he was making like 10 grand a month. And when you're like 20 years old and you're making that much, that's a shit ton of money, and he dropped out of college. And there was my buddy Arlen. He was making something similar as well. He had his own YouTube channel. He was doing vlogs. He was very popular in college. Like everyone knew him on campus, and he was getting hundreds of thousands of views, and he was selling merch on his channel. And he was roughly making around 10 to 20K a month too. And he could pretty much do what he wanted, travel the world and all of that. And so I was like, wow. So there is a world outside of this 9 to 5. There is an escape from this. Those were the two influences that allowed me to branch out and start up my channel. But then I didn't know what to do with my YouTube channel. I didn't know how to monetize it. For all I know, I was gonna sell merch and not coaching, right? But then I met Sunny. He actually ended up living quite close to me in New York. Sunny Sharma, he has his own channel. I believe it's called Personal Mastery Quest. He was a huge influence for me as well in learning how to start up my own coaching business, because I didn't know you could do that. When I saw him and he was doing that, and he had just left his 9 to 5. He had just graduated college and went straight into this. I was like, oh my God, this is doable. And that broadened up my horizons a lot more. So I went from this kid who was more concerned with what other people thought of him, looking good and looking cool and not being bullied. That was my priority at 18 years old. To someone who's more like, all right, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm gonna embarrass myself, make a fucking YouTube channel, make some videos. Because I was terrified of making YouTube videos, by the way. Because when I was in middle school, I had a YouTube channel where I was making guitar tutorials and I sucked at it. And someone showed the whole class my guitar performances and I was just like bullied for the rest of the year. But anyway, I digress. So if I were to go back to my 18-year-old self, to that kid who thought the world was bleak and dark and hopeless, the one piece of advice, and honestly, if you ask me, I don't really like answering these kinds of questions, because if I went to the past, I wouldn't change anything. Because if I changed anything, then I wouldn't be here today, theoretically. If I wanted to change something, that would mean I regret where I am today. And that's not the case at all. So everything literally turned out perfectly as it was meant to. But if there's one piece of advice I would give to my 18-year-old self, it would be to surround yourself with the right people. If I had surrounded myself with people like Arlen and Raphael and Sunny much sooner, at that age, then I would have had a great influence in my life at that time. And who knows where I would have been. Maybe I would have been making like 100 grand a month by the time I was 20. But regardless, everything happened at the right time. So if you are someone who wants to make a drastic change in your life, there is no better way to do this than getting the right environment of people. And I truly, truly believe this. Before that, I never realized the value of coaching. I never realized the value of having a community or a mastermind. But after that, I started crazy investing in coaching, masterminds. I didn't even hesitate, right? Like, it wasn't a big deal, because I realized if I surround myself with the right people, this would pay dividends years and years later, right? So the best thing you can do for yourself is, if you're wanting to make a change, you've got to get rid of the wrong people who are not supporting that. I cut myself off from all the fucking Snapchat groups I had, the WhatsApp groups I had. It was just useless, like talking shit, just posting memes and stuff, and it was just worthless. Like, it's good entertainment, don't get me wrong, but it was just like, this is taking hours, minutes of my day that I cannot afford. This is not contributing to where I want to get to. You know, I wouldn't have even aimed for what I aimed for if I hadn't met these people. I would have just felt trapped and felt as though something was missing. And maybe it was the feeling of trappedness that made these people come into my life, the good influence. So if you're someone who wants to make a drastic change in your life, the number one priority should be your environment. Getting rid of the wrong people and bringing in the right people. So I hope this was helpful. Till next time.